Yes guys, welcome from me, this is Championship Manager 0102, the World King Challenge, Part 12. This is long overdue. We had a big break from this, me and Matt, where we didn't touch it for a couple of weeks, and it was only sort of last week that we kicked in again, and we've really been hammering it. But what I did is I had to fire up quickly my last part to see where we were at the last time, and it was the 20th of June 2038. Well, I can tell you, right, we are now in November 39. Cast your mind back here to the last session. I was Celtic, Matt was Espanyol. Well, things move on. We clinched the title at Celtic. We won the cup double, to be honest with you. Then we left. Now, I'm sure I lost a bit of fan base when I went to Celtic. Matt has left Espanyol and has moved to Feyenoord. Now, we didn't win it at Espanyol. He was having a bit of a tough old season. And I think the problem, what it was in Spain, is that unless he took over Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Atletico, it was possibly always going to be quite difficult. So he left Espanyol, but he didn't leave Espanyol for Feyenoord. He did not leave Espanyol for Feyenoord, believe it or not. So let's show you where he left Espanyol for. This is a bizarre thing. There you see, he left for Flamengo. So he was at Espanyol best part of the season, and he went to Flamengo and he did what he needed to do. He won the first title in Brazil, which is always difficult to understand how the Brazilian league works. So Serie A, I mean, you could argue, is Serie A of Brazil, that surely that would be the more effective one, because a lot of the bigger teams are in that. But he was involved in the, apologies if I don't pronounce this correctly now, the Brazilian Campeonato league, and he won it. That was Matt, actually. He won it very convincingly, and then left. And he left in June. He left in June and joined Feyenoord for the Dutch leg of the tour. So he's completed Brazil. He asked me my views on, did I feel that counted as part of the tour complete? In my opinion, yes. The reason I said yes is because I felt that title he won there, if that gave him a league title on his this thing, league titles, leagues won, then it counted, and it did. So he's at Feyenoord, and he started very ruthless indeed. Again, I feel what he asked my opinion. I think he had to. I was a bit surprised he left Espanyol, truth be told, because it was a very similar sort of thing for when he was at Bologna. He went to Bologna. It was a very similar sort of thing. But you know, I get it. And if you're not enjoying it, you almost want to leave before you get sacked. What I feel the situation is in Holland, and I said this, providing Ajax and PSV don't start purchasing crazy amounts, then I think he'll win it. I think he should win it, if I'm honest. PSV spent a bit, but it was mostly Ajax that he needed to avoid seeing spend a lot of money, and you can see why I'm saying Ajax. He started out ruthless. He really has started out ruthless. He's had his 7 signings. His 7 signings kicked in from Dorian Fati. This was bizarre, right? Because he brought Dorian Fati from Bologna, who he signed at Bologna, and he gave him, I think we've all done this, there's no doubt about it, we've all given a player a relegation release clause instead of a minimum release clause, and he gave him a 100 grand relegation release clause, and Bologna, sensationally, got relegated. Crazy. Quick look at Bologna, you'll see what I mean. They've still got plenty of fucking money in Serie B. There you see, £434 million. With only 4.1 to spend. So he brought Colin, who I was tracking myself. Solid player, absolute solid. Martinyuk, the Ukrainian, he's been absolutely brilliant for him. Really, 800, 7 goals, 7 assists. Zegan of Chelsea. I think he's a great goalie. I remember us talking about him. He is 33. Belasian, 34. I mean, again, 34, he asked my views, and I said, if you can get a season out of him, great. And look at that, 808 is fucking phenomenal. It really is brilliant. And finally, Ayadi, the Basque central midfielder. I genuinely, I feel he'll win it. I do feel he'll win it. Now, over to me. So we left Celtic after 1 year. We were always going to leave Celtic after 1 year. But we won the title with absolute ease, and we won the Scottish Cup as well. Look, what the fuck are they? Look at them down there. We won it with absolute ease, and we were knocked out of the Champions League in, I think it was quite harsh circumstances last season. Let me remind myself now. What happened in the Champions League? Yeah, we had to win that last game and see Arsenal lose, I think it was, or draw, or something like that. Let me remind myself. Yeah, we had to see Arsenal lose, and they didn't. We thrashed Dortmund, which really, I mean, we built ourselves quite a good team, to be honest with you. We're a very good team. We spent a fortune. But after Matt left to go to Feyenoord, I ain't going to lie to you, right? I ain't going to lie. I then applied for Flamingo. I applied for Flamingo, but I also applied somewhere else. And the way I read it is, whichever one comes back to me first, I will accept. It wasn't Flamingo. We have, are you ready for this? We have returned back to Newcastle United. So we've returned to Newcastle United, right? There's no doubt they had a slightly stronger squad than what they had when I left them. I think I was there for 2.5 years, and I sort of left for the same reason Matt left Bologna and Espanyol. They had equal amount of money, like in the hundreds of million. We brought our 7 signings, and this is the situation so far. They also, believe it or not, they finished runners-up in the Champions League last season. To my shock, they lost to Milan. More about Milan in a moment. So our 7 signings then, we took over. In fact, we must have took over here then. Yeah, we would have brought No, I wouldn't have brought Perini. Did I bribe? Wow, I've got to check that. Wow. What a fuck up. What a fuck up. Here's me thinking I've done my 7 signings and I haven't. I've just got to check when I took over. Oh, that is... Matt, can you believe that? I've still got a sign-in. I just had it in my head because we say, although any pre-arranged deals don't count, obviously neither do signings that had already taken place. So Perina was already there. So we brought... let me just make sure I've got no one coming on a Bosman. No, they're going. Okay, so I've still got a sign-in. Nicolini from Milan. I can't believe I did that. Alfaro. Sands. Absolutely, look at that, what a player. Robert Brunner, spent a fucking fortune on him. The old internationals. Acosta. And now this guy here, Luis Wahel, look at him, what a player. And I think we've got a striker that we think might be Lukaku, regen. Look at him. He wasn't even going to start because originally I was going to have my Harry Kane regen starting up top. But what a player. We've also got Son, who I brought to Newcastle years ago. I can't get over the signings. I can't believe I've still got a sign-in. Matt, I can't believe that. I can't get over that. I can't believe I made such a silly mistake. So this is where we're at then. For me, I have to win the title in England. You know, there's no doubt about it. You know, we've had 2 failed attempts in England. We had a stint with Newcastle before, and we had our stint with Chelsea, and they've both been a waste of time. That's our situation. Let's before we go, let's just see. So Real Madrid check, PSG check, Milan check. Now let me tell you something about Milan very, very quickly. When Matt applied for Feyenoord, shortly after, I think Villa appointed the Milan manager, so the Milan job came. Going back to what I said about Spain and Italy, or Spain predominantly, but Italy as well, when he left Bologna, they're just not strong enough to compete with the likes of Milan, and Milan came available after he applied at Feyenoord. Now, he did apply at Feyenoord as well as Milan, and Feyenoord offered him first, and it was decisions. It really was decisions because Milan have an absolute remarkable team. They really do. The money's probably gone down a little bit now. Harnik is the Kevin De Bruyne region. They've got some absolute fucking... And they've just brought in the Mbappe region. They've just brought him as well. They've got some absolute stunners. They really have. Sorry, going back to that. Porto check, Rangers check. So we were on 5 legs of the tour. Dortmund check. We left Genk. We didn't do Genk, did we? So we've done 6 legs of the tour, really, because we did Scotland again. So that's our situation. 6 legs of the tour. Let's go to Matt. And let's count his legs of the tour. Man City, Dortmund, Celtic, Marseille, Porto, New England, and Flamingo. 7 legs of the tour. So obviously, let's just do that again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So the American one and the Brazilian ones, they're not the long-term sort of things. I think you just want to get in there and get out. And I think Argentina is on that list as well. So, yeah. So 7-6 to Matt, as it stands. Could well be 8-7 to Matt come the end of the season. Quick observation here on someone that was at Newcastle. Jimmy J. Morgan. We all know who Jimmy J. Morgan is, because bear in mind, you know, what season, how far we've come in seasons. He has a pre-arranged deal to Chelsea Seniors. And look how well he's doing for me. I didn't want to get rid of him because of our transfer cap. I wanted to give him another season. I think I gave him a new 1-year deal, actually. He's on silly fucking wages, but look how well he's doing for me. Just look at him. Absolutely brilliant. And that's it then, guys. That is the World King. It carries on. It really does carry on. I think we've got a plan to get maybe an hour or so in today and getting, you know, stints wherever we can. And that's it from me, guys. Till next time, take it easy.